Well, it seems that very interesting things are afoot. Circumstances are beginning to rapidly change in the human world. Taleon and his friends seem to currently be under a great deal of pressure. The stakes are high, and the costs even higher. But, as I've said before, there's always more than one side to any story. Always more events unfolding, should one be inclined to hear them. Far off in the realm of humans, right about the same time that Taleon and his group had come up with their strategy for dealing with Salus's old mercenary acquaintances, another set of individuals was undergoing their own story. Here in the human world, deep in a wooded area, an unorthodox pair makes their way towards a certain destination. Hamilton and Foster have been traveling for some time now. Hamilton seems to be moving forward as normal, unfazed by anything, bound and determined to make it to his destination. Foster leads the way. However, Foster has a very curious look on her face as she continues to walk. After a while, Hamilton notices this, and after giving her some time, realizes that the expression isn't changing. An expression of concern, as if something is amiss. Well, are you just going to make that face all day? Again. You've been doing it for nearly 2 days now. If there's a problem, I suggest you spit it out. We haven't time to waste, and I'd hate for your silence to prove my inconvenience in the future. So what is it? Hamilton said, giving a stern expression to Foster as he adjusted his glasses. Well, it's nothing. I guess we're just lucky. It doesn't really matter. We're almost there. Soon, we'll meet up with my contact. He'll take us to the hag, and she can help us find this lost prince of yours. Yes, that much I know, or at least hope. What I'm more concerned with is that you have a growing level of concern, as if something's wrong. I'd be a fool to ignore it. You're the one who's accustomed to this world and the individuals that inhabit it. If you have some sort of gut instinct that's telling you something's wrong, it's a good bet that you're right, which means that it could prove a problem to us in the future. That is, if you don't open your mouth and tell me what it is now. Fine, Foster replied, begrudgingly agreeing. It's just that we've been traveling for several days, since that whole incident with the wolves. Before we came in contact with them, I thought it was a bit curious that we didn't come across the demon whose territory that we passed through on the way there. I thought we just lucked out. I was sure we'd have to deal with him, maybe cut a bargain to pass, pay him off a bit. And after we crossed through the area that those wolves were in, since then we've passed through 2 other territories. One of a small demon tribe, Greagle. They're not very powerful all on their own, but they tend to reproduce in high numbers. But once again, they're fairly greedy. If you could offer them something valuable, they'll let you pass, without giving you any trouble. The territory that we passed after that belongs to a demon known as Borman. Him and his mate have ruled over that territory for a great deal of time. Humans tend not to travel there because, well, he eats them. Not lots of them, but lone individuals wandering through are bound to get snatched and never heard from again. But we didn't encounter him either, or his mate. He probably would have come across us, just from picking up our scents. Come to investigate. He would have been uninterested once he found out we were demons and went on his way. He only has a taste for humans. Despite that, as far as demons go, he tends to be fairly friendly at least. He doesn't care so long as you don't have a human to eat. Surprisingly, his jokes aren't bad. But neither hide nor hair of him is shown up either. It's weird. He can't sense demonic energy either, so it's not like he sensed your power and was just scared off. Neither could those demons in the other territory. We should have come into confrontation with at least one of them. But nothing. It's as if everyone just disappeared. I mean, don't you think there's something wrong with that? Actually, I think it's just about on the mark, Hamilton replied, as they continued to stroll through the woods. All of the gates into the demon realm have been sealed, and Special Forces mobilization have most likely been released into Earthrealm at this point, meaning the world is being flooded with powerful demon forces seeking to acquire the prince. On top of that, most likely large numbers of bounty hunters and mercenaries as well. Anyone who stays in contact with other demons will most likely have heard about it. Word travels fast. So, it stands to reason that any demon that doesn't want to deal with it, or be caught in the crossfire, is going into hiding, stowing themselves away and trying to be as private as they possibly can, keeping to themselves, for fear that they may be dragged into whatever else is going on. Most of them might not have a good idea of exactly what's going on. A few bare details, such as troop movements and the gates closing down, the large number of demons entering the world, even if they don't know why. The danger is still evident, so they're going into hiding. It's basic reasoning, really. What do you mean the gates are sealed? You mean no one can go back to the demon world? Well, specifically, no one can go to any of the gates that lead to Matara. All of those have been seized by the kingdom. With all of the vast amounts of activity going on, it's no surprise that everyone's panicked. You know, you could have told me this sooner. What if my contact's in hiding too? If that little rat's gone off somewhere, then this whole thing is pointless. We can't contact the hag without him. She'll attack anyone who enters without permission, or an escort. And that's if you can even find her. I don't know where she actually is. Well, then we should hope that your contact hasn't disappeared. If he hasn't, then good. But if he has, I suppose we'll have to go through other means to find the hag. I was hoping not to use my more powerful magics. They tend to be attention drawing. I'm required to elevate my demonic magic level. My demon energy will be far more visible to any demons that happen to be around and able to sense it. With the amount of power that I'd have to use in order to locate this hag without some sort of foreknowledge as to where she is, would be able to be sensed from near 100 miles around. So I'm hoping that we don't have to resort to that. For the moment, let us hope that your contact is still in place and continue our movement forward. Hesitation leads to waste and weakness. Those who falter fail. We have an objective, a destination. Even if the situation is complicated, it doesn't change anything for us. Our movement stays forward. And if any of the minor inconvenient demons stay out of the way because they're afraid of all of the others passing through, entering the human world, then it's all the better for us, at least for the moment. It will take them time to spread out. I'm not so much worried about the bounty hunters. They'll most likely be searching blind on nothing but minor information, meaning they'll be scattered about sparsely everywhere. The real concern is the royal military, the elite units that they're going to be sending through. Not because of their strength, I can deal with that. But those of the royal military will have access to information. They'll know the location of the beacon that was set off, the energy detection system that was triggered. Thus, their search will be able to be narrowed drastically. And on top of that, they have crystals that are attuned to the prince's life force. They'll be able to track him if they get close enough, begin to zero in on his location. But they have to get fairly close before that can happen, within a few miles at minimum. So we still have time. The Earth is a big place. Lots of places that the prince could be hiding, or being hidden away. Frankly, I'm quite scared for the boy. Who knows what nefarious agenda those who have him, and have kept him for all this time, have. The options are quite frankly unpleasant. They could be doing anything. Keeping the boy in chains, beating him, barely feeding him, trying to keep him weak. Or they could be performing some sort of training, mental conditioning in order to turn the boy into a weapon, turn him against his own blood. There's no telling what they have up their sleeves. Once we find the prince, he might not want to go. He could be our enemy at this point. We don't know. We can't be certain of anything. Wait, hold on a second. You're telling me that this prince might not even want to be saved? That he might think that his family is his enemy? How are we even supposed to deal with that? How are we supposed to take him back if he hates us? If he hates his family? It's simple, Hamilton replied. We beat the living shit out of him, capture him, and drag him back by force. Even if they've subjected him to mental conditioning and training, taught him to despise his own family, there are magics that can undo this. Magics that can reveal the truth to him, break away the hatred that's been forged into him. Even magics that can undo damage done by years of torture, malnutrition, and physical injuries. All of these things can be resolved with time should we bring the prince back. So long as he is still sane, then he is not beyond salvation. All we need do is actually find him.